Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. What a wonderful, wonderful day it is. If you love humidity, what a blessing it is for you to be around at this time. You're in a golden age of humidity. Coming up in about 15 minutes, I'll have a review for you of the Wonder Woman movie. I went and saw Wonder Woman last night with a group of men. And I'll share that review with you. I'll tell you this ahead of time. If you're over the age of 60 especially, you'll love the movie. It's almost as if they made it for elderly people. It was so good. Now, let's see. The Paris Climate Accord. Now, this, have you noticed this? People are very upset. Maybe you aren't. Maybe your friends and family aren't, but there are a lot of people out there that are upset about the Paris. President Trump pulls the United States out of the Paris Climate Agreement. And I saw, oh my goodness, I saw people online, on Facebook, so upset, saying this was it. This was finally it. I read one man say that he despised the president and he despised all the people that voted for him, that this is it. This was the final straw. All this other stuff was bad, but this was the worst, the destruction of the planet. Let me go into the email inbox. I do have an email that came in just a few minutes ago on the topic of the Paris Climate Accord. Subject line on the email is questions. Email reads, Uncle Henry, number one, are all the polar bears going to die now? And number two, did you hear any update on how the new traffic configuration on Water Street went? I watched Mel Showers and Rose Van Halen last night, but did not see an update on it. Thanks. And that email from Johnny Z, as in zebra. Johnny Z, I'll get to the polar bears next, after traffic and weather together. I'll tell you that I did watch Mel Showers and Rose Van Halen last night, and they interviewed people that were upset that the ramp was closed. They did find people. There are people out there, because they've closed the ramp now that should never have been built to begin with, where people could merge into the mouth of the Wallace Tunnel. That ramp is now closed. And Channel 5 did go out and find some disgruntled drivers, some angry drivers that they interviewed through their car windows that were upset that the ramp was closed. I think we're at a point now in our country where you can find disgruntled people everywhere on every topic. All right, coming up, I'll address the polar bears next, Johnny Z. Just stick with us through this quick traffic and weather.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
We have an accident in Mary Esther that's been working for a little while now. This occurred on the northbound side of Beale Parkway. Also road work on the westbound side of the Causeway about a mile east of I-10. Right lane is blocked to the area there, but we're not seeing a whole lot of backup associated with that. And remember, the eastbound I-10 entrance ramp at Water Street has finally been closed, permanently shut down. There's a new, bigger, wider, straighter ramp that's been constructed at Texas Street. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by the Foundation for a Better Life.
Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor?
Hi, neighbor.
Mr. Rogers passed along friendship, hoping we would too. Friendship, pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
First alert weather from WKRG News 5 and the Chemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
Clouds, rain, and humidity linger. I'm meteorologist John Nodar with the News 5 First Alert Storm Team. Yes, the wet weather pattern continues today, tomorrow, and Sunday as well, with 60% rain chances each day, highs in the mid-80s and lows near 70. There is light at the end of the tunnel. By the middle of next week, some drier and slightly cooler air moves in.
This report is brought to you by the Foundation for a Better Life.
Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Well, Tippy, my neighbor.
Hi, neighbor.
Mr. Rogers passed along friendship, hoping we would too. Friendship, pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at Values.com.
News? Check. Traffic and weather? Check. Opinions? Check. This is the Uncle Henry Show, only on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. Coming up in about 10 minutes, a review of Wonder Woman by a bunch of men. But now, the Paris Climate Accord, I just had an email from Johnny Z asking me if the polar bears, what did he ask? Are the polar bears going to die now that President Trump has pulled out of the Paris Climate Agreement? Well, I'm confused about whether or not I should be worried about the polar bears. I'm not sure. The person that taught us to be worried about the polar bears was Al Gore. Remember? It was Al Gore that taught us that we need to be very worried that the polar bears were just in a terrible situation. By the way, Al Gore releasing a sequel to his first movie about global warming, and Al Gore released a statement yesterday saying that President Trump pulling out of the Paris Agreement is reckless and indefensible. Now, should we trust Al Gore about the polar bears and about President Trump? This gives me an opportunity to play one of my favorite little bits of audio tape of all time. Here, I've got a brief excerpt of Al Gore. This is back when President Obama was not president, when he was running to be president. And this is Al Gore telling us why we needed to elect President Obama.
Many scientists predict shockingly that the entire North Polar ice cap may be completely gone during summer months during the first term of the next president. Sea levels are rising, fires are raging, storms are stronger. Military experts warn us our national security is threatened by massive waves of climate refugees, destabilizing countries around the world. And scientists tell us the very web of life is endangered by unprecedented extinctions. We are facing a planetary emergency, which, if not solved, would exceed anything we've ever experienced in the history of humankind.
Wow. So, I mean, let's start building the rockets now, right? We need to get off the planet. He said that at the beginning of that, he said the first term of the next president, that would have been President Obama, the polar ice caps would be gone. I believe they're still there. Now I may be wrong because I haven't been to the polar ice caps, but I believe they're still there, and that he was wrong about that. He was wrong about, in fact, climate refugees. He mentioned that as a bad thing. That now see, we love them. We love getting climate refugees from Wisconsin, from Illinois, from other cold places that come down to visit Lower Alabama and spend their money. They're called snowbirds, the climate refugees. So, Johnny Z, I don't know if that's the man that warned us about the polar bears, and he was obviously on something when he was making that speech about the web of life being threatened and how we might need to leave the planet. So I don't know. Polar bear, I'm going to guess the polar bears are going to be around after you and I are gone. That's my guess, that the polar bears will survive. The polar bears are going to outlast me and you and Donald Trump and Al Gore. All right, coming up next, I took a group of men to watch Wonder Woman last night, and we offer our review for you coming up.
Take care of your skin. See Dr. Thomas Bender at Advanced Dermatology and Skincare Center. Dr. Bender sees patients in Mobile, Daphne, and Bay Minette. Find out more online at advanceddermclinic.com.
Hi, I'm Chris Morgan, GM of your Bay Bears, inviting you to come out to Hank Aaron Stadium for another great season of Bay Bears baseball. Here's what's happening this week.
Mobile Bay Bears begin their homestand against the Pensacola Blue Wahoos Sunday, June 4th. Gates open at 4, first pitch at 5:05. It's Sunday Fun Day. Bark in the Park presented by Raising Cane's. Furry four-legged friends are welcome to join their owners at the Hang.
Your Bay Bears and iHeartMedia look forward to another fantastic season. We'll see you at the Hang.
Hey, what are we talking about this time, Bess?
Shelby, we're talking about fun families and new houses.
Okay.
I met with a darling family this week. 2 professional parents and 3 children under 8.
Ooh, sounds like they're very busy.
That's right, Dan. And that's exactly why they need a living room that'll love and hug on them and their family and friends.
Friends, too?
Of course, Mary. Friends, too.
Everybody wants that, don't
That's
they?
right, Uncle Henry.
Okay, and you can do that for all our listeners?
Shelby, that's what we do. And you know what else we're doing?
What else are you doing?
Let me give you a hint.
Okay.
Tick-tock, tick-tock.
The 36-hour sale.
That's right. Help is on the way with our 36-hour sale with prices so low you won't need to shop no mo.
Okay. Here on Facebook, good morning. We're in a radio break. People are hearing about furniture. In the next segment of the program, I will be sharing the review of Wonder Woman. And it was only a coincidence that I went with a group of men to see Wonder Woman. Let's see, in the newspaper, they did print a press register today, and Wonder Woman is all over the paper. Inspiration for the next generation. If Wonder Woman is inspiration for the next generation of women, then we're going to have a lot of women that use swords and really beat people up. That's a lot. A lot of the movie is people getting beat up or stabbed. I loved it. Everything I want in a movie is summed up by it. If you've got bad guys, see, in the real world, a lot of times the bad guys get away with things and we don't get any kind of resolution. But I like going to a movie where the bad guy gets punched, and that's that. And we get that in Wonder Woman. I like that. So let's see. In the paper, Wonder Woman is the inspiration for the next generation. And then Wonder Woman is finally a DC Comics movie that works. And then a whole page of Wonder Woman. Things that you probably could care less to know about Wonder Woman, but an entire page of Wonder Woman. There's not enough news out there, so we've got to put Wonder Woman all over the paper. Okay. Let's see. Also in the paper is a review of a movie called Captain Underpants. Now, I'm not in favor of this. I don't think that it's cute or good or beneficial to society to teach children that they should be proud to be walking around in their underpants. I don't want to go in public and have just a bunch of people running around in their underpants. But that's what this encourages, Captain Underpants. It's sad that we're at a point where we've got to have people in their underpants in movies like that. For children. All right, let's see what else. Oh, all right, stand by. We're about to go back to radio where I will play the Wonder Woman review.
The clouds and rain continue today. A 60% chance that a shower or thunderstorm will find you. And we've got basically the same forecast on tap for tomorrow and Sunday. Daytime highs each day in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist John Nodar with the News 5 First Alert Storm Team.
You're home for Rush every weekday at 11. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show, News Radio 710 WNTM 99.5 FM. The Jag coming up in about 10 minutes. News from Fox and from WKRG. This is the Uncle Henry Show review of Wonder Woman. The review recorded immediately after seeing Wonder Woman in the parking lot of the Mobile Theater. Here with Angelo of Mobile Bay Coins, Scotty White of ScottyWhite.com, musician Joe Shanaber is here, Roger Bird, art instructor, that's correct. Norman is here. He does not have a website, but his nephew has BrentTunes.com. I'll start the review by saying that this was a fantastic film. It had everything I've ever wanted in a movie. Punching, stabbing, arrows, shootings, explosions. People were shooting and stabbing, flipping around in midair. It was everything you want in a movie. Almost no cuss words at all that I could detect. Only one fleeting glimpse of a body without clothes on it, but it was done in a very tasteful manner. Even when there was kissing, there was in shadows, so you didn't actually see lip on lip. It was magnificent. I want to see Wonder Woman fight the Germans again. Norman, your thoughts?
Yeah, she was fighting Germans. You know, I thought that initially Wonder Woman was like World War II, but they put her here in World War I, but it was good because there was a lot of fist fighting, like you say, a lot of explosions, you know, a lot of golden lasso and a lot of Amazons.
Angelo, your thoughts?
I was rather impressed. I like the fact that it's set in World War I. I liked the visuals, the special effects. I thought it was dragging a little bit in the middle, but then it picked up and it ended.
Dragging?
It was dragging a little bit there in the middle.
Wonder Woman versus the German army was in the middle of the movie.
I understand that, but like I said, I thought it was dragging a little bit, but she picked it up and pulled it off, and it was a good wrap at the end.
Joe, you're a musician. What does a musician think?
I loved all the time travel, and of course I was
Time travel?
I was super pleased, too, that Mr. Scott was able to beam his captain back aboard.
All right, you didn't see the same movie. Scotty White of ScottyWhite.com.
I liked Wonder Woman fighting the German army in the middle of the film. That's pretty much about it, all I liked about the film.
Whoa! What was your problem with Wonder Woman?
It's just dull. Meh.
How?
Lots of it.
People were in the air shooting arrows at each other.
In terrible CGI with backgrounds that weren't complete.
That wasn't terrible.
Oh, it was atrocious. Warner Brothers knows better. They have more money than this.
Roger, is he just being a contrarian?
I don't know. They call her Wonder Woman. There's no wonder she's Wonder Woman. It was amazing. I loved it.
Thank you.
I had an uncle who was at Normandy. I just loved that. That's, incredible storyline. So it was just great. I think.
Okay, Normandy, different war, but still a war with Germans. Norman, can you believe Scotty White's making this up? He wants to be contrary.
I guess so, but I could understand some of it, and there's some inconsistencies, but the sound was good in the theater. I liked the way the sound effects were good. It wasn't too distorted and too overpowering. It was good and loud, and you could understand everything they said. And there wasn't a whole lot of crying babies and no garbage, nobody kicking my seat.
Are you okay, though? You're kind of sweaty.
It was hot in that theater. They didn't have no air conditioner or something. I don't know what the deal is. I guess it's summertime, and they couldn't afford good sound and air conditioning.
Uncle Henry, I think he started sweating when Wonder Woman popped out in that skimpy little outfit, the grown-up Wonder Woman. That's when the sweat started pouring off of him. I'm just saying.
There wasn't that much skimp either. That's what I loved about this movie.
For the era. For that era.
For the era, but look, Scotty White, please drop the pretense and join us in the reality of the greatness. This is the best. This is better than the Avengers, better than Spider-Man, better than Iron Man. In fact, I'd love to see her marry Captain America. That would be an outstanding film.
Well, I understand why you and Norman like it, because you reminded back when you were in the front in those trenches. I understood.
Come on. Be serious.
Understand. I mean, I was going to ask you how it was when she did save your butts from the Germans, but, I know it's a little hard for you.
All right.
I don't want you to get upset.
All right, well,
I am. Tears in your eyes. I sat right by you.
Look, it was so good. I just couldn't believe I was seeing people getting shot with the arrows and the punching and no cussing. No cussing was one last thing before we run out of time. Little girls
Could you take little girls to this, Norman, without... Is it too violent for the little children with all the stabbings?
The video games little girls play today are more violent than that, so I guess they're going to call this a positive role model.
All right, well, my final verdict is every star you can give it, my highest recommendation of all time.
I give it a 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5.
Wonder Woman is a 10 for sure.
2 lassos.
4.
Excellent, excellent movie.
Okay, that's the review of a group of men. Just a coincidence that it was a group of men going to see. It had nothing to do with us wanting to just look at her. It had nothing to do with that. We were not there just to look at her. We were there to see the Germans. No offense to the Germans, but it was enjoyable to see the Germans get defeated once again. Again, if you're a German or of German descent, do not be offended. The Germans have contributed a lot of great things to the world. Schnitzels and things like that. Beers. But it was so good to see the Germans get punched and all those different things. So I know you want news. You want more news, so we've got it coming up. News, traffic, weather, all of that is next on the Uncle Henry Show. Please stick with the show as long as you can stand it.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. Investors are awaiting the May jobs report straight ahead. Economists surveyed by Bloomberg are estimating payroll gains of 182,000, with the jobless rate unchanged at 4.4%. Stock futures are higher. S&P futures up 5 points, Dow futures up 70, NASDAQ futures are up 18. Crude oil is down 2% at $47.39 a barrel. Lululemon's first quarter results are offering the bulls a sigh of relief, according to analysts. Shares of the yoga wear maker are up 15% in pre-market trading this morning. Lufthansa is considering stretching out deliveries of Boeing's new 777X aircraft amid concerns about the cost and size of the big jet. Decision could be reached by September, according to an internal video presentation. The move would be a blow to Boeing, which signed up Lufthansa as a launch customer for the 777X, but cheaper fuel and a glut of smaller, relatively young wide-body planes have upended the economics that have favored larger models for long-range flying. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg.
If you know the value of good machines, then it's high time we got together. We're Bailey Industrial, builders of metal and woodworking equipment, hard-working machines for hard-working people. We stand behind our equipment and make sure our equipment stands behind you, offering you the after-sale support you need to keep your shop running smoothly, which means making sure you have what you need when you need it, typically shipping within 72 hours or less. So whether you're a fabricator or manufacturer of metal or wood products, go to Bailey.com or call 920-MACHINE and we'll send you a catalog. That's right, friend, over 400 pages of what you love most, machines. So whatever you're looking to build or manufacture, do it with Bailey Industrial, the company you can trust to give you the equipment and service you can rely on. That's B-A-I-L-E-I-G-H, Bailey, because if it's worth doing right, it's only right to do it with Bailey. So call 920-MACHINE or go to Bailey.com now and pick up your free catalog.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
Life through downtown Mobile should be a little bit safer now. The entrance ramp from Water Street to eastbound I-10, the scene of so many accidents over the years, was permanently closed yesterday. There is a new, much straighter and safer ramp that's been constructed back at Texas Street. Now, in addition, that ramp comes up about a mile before where the Water Street ramp did, so you're going to come into less traffic as there's less of that bottlenecking effect further away from the tunnel. No major accidents on the board presently. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
First Alert Weather from WKRG News 5 and the Chemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
I'm meteorologist John Nodar with the News 5 First Alert Storm Team. A few foggy spots and a few showers around the area this morning, but most folks with an easy commute, dry streets, light winds, and good visibility. We'll see clouds and the possibility of showers again today and tomorrow and Sunday, with a 60% chance of rain each day and highs in the mid-80s.
Good morning, I'm Jessica Taloni with WKRG News 5, coverage you can count on. An inmate who escaped from the Loxley Work Release Center is back in jail this morning after being on the run for more than a month. U.S. Marshals captured 29-year-old Ryan Wilson Thursday night near Newport, Tennessee. Wilson surrendered peacefully. Authorities had been looking for Wilson for 38 days. Charges have yet to be filed in the death of 16-year-old Brian Parker. He's the Wilmer teenager who was missing more than a week before being found dead Wednesday night. Parker's body was discovered in a wooded area off Highway 63 in Greene County, Mississippi. Authorities say a surveillance camera at a gas station near Highways 98 and 63 helped them narrow the search for Parker to that area. More jobs will be coming to the area as Amazon confirms the company is building a sortation center off Interstate 10 in South Mobile County. According to Amazon's website, a sortation center typically employs 100 to 300 people. This will be Amazon's first facility of any kind in Alabama. I'm Jessica Taloni with WKRG News 5, coverage you can count on.
Fox News Radio, I'm William Wu. Some heated words from world leaders over President Trump pulling the U.S. out of the Paris Climate Accord.
German Chancellor Angela Merkel calling the president's decision, quote, utterly regrettable, and she said, that is me choosing very restrained language.
Fox Radio's Simon Owen. President Trump calling the deal bad for our economy, and some in coal country, like this miner in Kentucky, support him.
Makes them feel safer, you know, that their jobs might be around for the future.
In Kabul, Afghanistan, a demonstration for better security leaves at least 8 protesters dead, 4 police hurt. The recent deadly attack in the diplomatic quarter of the city killed at least 90 people. And the May jobs report just out, 138,000 jobs created. That is below expectations. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Hi, I'm Lydia Pettyjohn, Director of the Family Center, here to remind you how important fathers are to families. Children raised in a father-absent home are at 4-time risk of poverty. They're more likely to have behavioral problems, more likely to commit a crime, and to go to prison. Even the risk of infant mortality doubles in fatherless homes. The U.S. Census Bureau says 1 in 3 children in America are living without their biological father. Children need their dads. Find out more at FamilyCenterMobile.org.
I'm Uncle Henry, a customer of Heads Heating and Air Conditioning. I've used them for maintenance and for when my old system went out on me. Last year, I asked them to turn to the experts, Carrier, and replace my old natural gas furnace with a Carrier 95% high-efficiency unit. And so I had a cozy, warm home last winter with lower heating bills. And I'm looking forward to a cool home this summer with that new system. Carrier, high-efficiency natural gas, and Heads Heating and Air Conditioning make a great team. Did you know they've got financing available at 0% interest for up to 60 months? You can't beat 0% on a new system. What a great combo. Carrier, natural gas, Heads Heating and Air Conditioning, and financing at 0% interest for up to 60 months. So turn to the experts, Carrier, and call Heads Heating and Air Conditioning. The number is 251-653-7873. 251-653-7873. See if you qualify for that great deal on 0% interest.
Heads Heating and Air Conditioning, where 3 heads are better than 1.
Finding great people to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's time to try ZipRecruiter, where 80% of jobs get a qualified candidate in just 1 day. How? Using powerful technology, ZipRecruiter matches your job to the right candidates fast. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, only ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio offer for your free trial. ZipRecruiter.com/radio offer.
Hey, this is Uncle Henry. If you have a tree problem, let me introduce you to someone who can help you solve it. That's Donnie Chastang at Chastang's Tree Service. Donnie Chastang offers residential and commercial tree service, and this includes tree removal, tree trimming, stump grinding, tree topping, and deadwooding. And I really like the fact that Donnie has invested in all the best state-of-the-art equipment needed to handle any job, no matter how difficult. And his employees at Chastang's Tree Service, they've got many years of experience in the tree business. So with the right equipment and experienced employees, Donnie Chastang can handle jobs quickly and professionally. So if you've got a tree problem, call Donnie Chastang at Chastang's Tree Service for a free estimate. The telephone number is 251-342-4667. That's 251-342-4667. That's Donnie Chastang with Chastang's Tree Service.
We love Nick Saban. Just wanted to get that out of the way. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. The Daily Reagan coming up in about 15 minutes on the Uncle Henry Show. We had good economic news yesterday. Now, globally, I believe world stocks are up. World stocks are set to end the week, according to Reuters, in the week at all-time highs. World stocks ending the week at all. This is after President Trump pulled out of this deal that people are just so upset about. So world stocks at all-time highs. Our stock market doing terrific yesterday after the news about pulling out of the Paris Climate Accord. On the local level, for Lower Alabama, you may have heard about how Walmart is building a distribution center, creating jobs in Mobile County, and we got word yesterday that Amazon is going to also open up a facility in Mobile County, will employ between 100 and 300 workers at their Amazon facility in Mobile County. So great economic news continues for Lower Alabama. I saw the report on WKRG, and they describe this Amazon facility as a sortation center. I'd never heard the word before. Ariel, have you heard of sortation? Well, according to the internet, sortation is the process of sorting. But it doesn't sound good if you call it a sorting center, so you come up with sortation. The process of sorting. So there'll be sorting at the sortation center. I like this because now I'm sure you're highly educated and you know a lot, but I come from a family where we don't have a lot of higher education. A lot of us have not gone to college in my family. So these are the kind, we could sort though. We could do that. I know that we want to attract jobs that are high paying, highly skilled jobs, just like the aerospace jobs, and that's wonderful. It's good for a community, but communities also need jobs where you don't have to be smart. No offense to anybody that sorts for a living. But this is something, I could do that. Well, I shouldn't say that. It may be a lot more complicated than I understand. I didn't even know what the word meant. So maybe I couldn't do it. But I bet I could be trained to sort. So I'm glad to hear this. This is wonderful. Wonderful that we're getting even more jobs locally. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s, and then right back.
Time-saver traffic from the Dean McCrary Mazda Traffic Center.
It has been a very quiet Friday morning drive all around the area this morning with no big accidents or breakdowns affecting the drive across the Bayway, the I-10 Escambia Bay Bridge in Pensacola, the 3 Mile up from Gulf Breeze, and I-65 from Pritchard and Chickasaw down to the I-10. Everything seems to be in good shape still all around the area. With time-saver traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by Compassion International. Every child is born with talents, hopes, and dreams, but poverty will steal those dreams. You can help a child find hope when you become their sponsor with Compassion International. Give a child a chance to dream again. Find out how at compassion.com/radio.
First Alert Weather from WKRG News 5 and the Southern Cancer Center Weather Center.
Clouds, rain, and humidity linger. I'm meteorologist John Nodar with the News 5 First Alert Storm Team. Yes, the wet weather pattern continues today, tomorrow, and Sunday as well. with 60% rain chances each day, highs in the mid-80s and lows near 70. There is light at the end of the tunnel. By the middle of next week, some drier and slightly cooler air moves in.
This report is brought to you by Unbound.
When you sponsor through Unbound, you not only open the door to education for a young person, you empower a family to build a foundation of financial stability, empowerment, and respect. See your contribution grow into opportunity at unbound.org.
This morning at 9, ask the expert. Then Rush at 11. Right now, it's Uncle Henry on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. The Daily Reagan coming up in about 10 minutes. Right now, Angelo's with us from Mobile Bay Coins. Angelo, it was great seeing you last night at the movie.
Well, you too. Had a lot of fun. I'm sure you're probably a little tired this morning, aren't you?
A little bit, but it was so enjoyable. I was thinking later about this Wonder Woman movie that it was really made, people over the age of 60, I think, would really like it. I mean, it's kind of a throwback movie, isn't it? I mean, there was no nastiness in it. No, the F word was not in it. It was just good old-fashioned beating up Germans.
And I think you're right there. And I did the same thing. By the time I got home last night, I couldn't really, fall fast asleep, and I was thinking through things. And thinking about the style of the movies back in the day, it really did have that look and feel. I know we talked a little bit about some of the characters and their roles and how that plays out compared to today. And you're right. It was really set like it was back in that time, and they did a very good job with that. Enjoyable movie. Like I said, I expected her to be more Amazon and less love interest, but I did enjoy the movie.
Okay. Angelo Angelo and I both becoming movie critics here on the Uncle Henry Show. Before I talk to you about Mobile Bay Coins, they show a lot of previews before they get to the main movie these days. They were showing well, there was one movie it was some kind of a Transformers movie that's coming out.
Right.
I've seen the preview now 2 or 3 times. And I still can't figure out what on earth is happening in this preview, what it's about, who the people are, what their relationships to each other are. It is the biggest mission. They might as well have been speaking a foreign language. Is it just me, or is that just utterly without any kind of content to the preview?
I think all they were doing is making another Transformer action-type movie, and I don't think content was really relevant at that point, because for goodness sakes, you've got intelligent machines that are supposed to be here on Earth, and they're fighting with swords.
Okay. Okay. It just didn't. I could not imagine. I couldn't make heads or tails of it. All right, let's get to Mobile Bay Coins, open today and tomorrow, 2204 Government Street in Midtown Mobile. If somebody is inspired by the Wonder Woman movie, do you actually have any coins that were in circulation around the time of World War I?
We certainly do, and as a matter of fact, the 1916 and 1917 quarter actually had a very, very racy design when it originally came out, and they actually had to cover up part of Lady Liberty in that design, which is actually very reminiscent of the original Amazons and how they had a certain style of clothing and whatnot. So, yeah, if you want to find a coin from the World War I era, come by the shop and talk to us. We can even talk about some of the cooler things that we have here and some of the unusual stories behind the coin.
Wow, I didn't know. So Lady Liberty, what do you mean they had to cover her up? Did they originally put out, was it scandalous and then they had to redesign it?
I think that's a nice, safe way of putting that, Uncle Henry. They put out the original design for a very brief amount of time, and people were so upset about the lack of coverage that they had to redesign everything.
Wow, we put out a semi-naked Lady Liberty.
A naughty coin.
Wow, in 1916. All right, look, Angelo, Mobile Bay Coins, 2204 Government Street in Midtown Mobile. You can find them on Facebook. Go like them on Facebook. They have a lot of great pictures there. Be careful putting a picture of that coin on your Facebook page, Angelo. and have a good weekend.
There's no such thing as chemical weapons.
The Sean Hannity Show.
Listen,
Assad got rid of his chemical weapons.
Today at 2.
It's a message.
Get the message. News Radio 710, WNTM.
If you're a business owner, listen up. I've got some info that could make your life easier. I'm Uncle Henry for Payroll Vault. Payroll Vault understands the struggles small businesses face. A lot of multitasking, receivables, invoicing, collections. Payroll is such an important function that requires focus, and Payroll Vault can take that off your plate. Payroll Vault takes over the complicated payroll activities and workplace services so you can concentrate on what you do best. Payroll Vault can handle payroll processing, employee checks, direct deposit, payroll tax returns, W-2 processing. The list of services goes on and on and on. And no business is too small for Payroll Vault. What do you have to lose? Get a free payroll consult. Payroll Vault can save you money, time, and peace of mind. And they're local, so you'll actually get someone on the phone. Call them at 251-243-0902. That's 251-243-0902. Or visit them online at payrollvault.com.
At Mercedes-Benz of Mobile, servicing the customer always comes first. If your Mercedes is in need of repair or general maintenance, come see us at our state-of-the-art service center on Dolphin Street. Our highly certified auto technicians are equipped with the latest tools and technologies to take care of your Mercedes or any other luxury vehicle, including Lexus, BMW, Audi, and Jaguar. Give your car a little TLC and visit our service center at 3060 Dolphin Street today. Mercedes-Benz of Mobile, doing our part to keep you moving forward.
This is Uncle Henry. I'm here with Virginia McNeil of McNeil Aaron's Lambert Financial Group. Virginia, there are a lot of family businesses in Mobile, but what does it mean to you personally to be the fourth generation in your family to work at MAL Financial and work with your dad, John, every day?
Well, Uncle Henry, it's just great. I get to go to work every day and help somebody in some way, just like the 4 generations of McNeils have done for the past 93 years. It means a lot when I meet a client and they have gotten to work with my grandfather and my dad and are excited to work with me now too. That means we have never disappointed those people, and that is something you can only achieve with honesty and integrity.
For over 90 years, the professionals at McNeil Aaron's Lambert have been helping their clients with their personal estate and retirement planning. Give them a call at 666-5000. That's 666-5000, or visit the website malfinancial.com. Ed and Virginia are investment advisor representatives with AE Wealth Management. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, which is an SEC-registered investment advisor.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Eddie Garcia.
In Game 1 of the NBA Finals, the Warriors beat the Cavaliers 113-91. Kevin Durant led Golden State with 38 points. Steph Curry added 28 points in the win as the Warriors are now 13-0 this postseason. Cleveland turned the ball over 20 times to the Warriors' 4. Golden State grabs the 1-0 series lead. Game 2 will be Sunday once again in Oakland. In baseball, in the National League, the Cardinals blanked the Dodgers 2-0. St. Louis starting pitcher Adam Wainwright almost single-handedly won the game. He tossed 6 shutout innings during the win on the mound and hit a 2-run homer to provide all the offense in the game. Diamondbacks beat the Marlins 3-2. Arizona pitcher Zach Greinke tossed 7 strong innings to get his 7th win of the year. That's tied for the National League lead. Arizona moved into first place in the NL West. A half game up on L.A. Brewers beat the Mets 2-1, and one interleague score. The Rockies beat the Mariners 6-3. Colorado also moves into first place in the NL West, tied with Arizona as they're both a half game up on the Dodgers.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
It has been a very quiet Friday morning drive all around the area this morning with no big accidents or breakdowns affecting the drive across the Bayway, the I-10 Escambia Bay Bridge in Pensacola, the 3 Mile up from Gulf Breeze, and I-65 from Pritchard and Chickasaw down to the I-10. Everything seems to be in good shape still all around the area. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by the T.J. Martell Foundation.
Hey everybody, I'm Eric Church, asking you to join me in the fight against leukemia, cancer, and AIDS through the T.J. Martell Foundation. Your support helps facilitate cutting-edge research that will lead to more effective treatments and save more lives. Visit tjmartell.org to learn about music's promise for a cure.
First Alert Weather from WKRG News 5 and the Chemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
Lots of moisture in the air again today. A few foggy spots for the morning commute, but most folks getting from point A to point B without too much trouble. The clouds and rain continue today, a 60% chance that a shower or thunderstorm will find you. And we've got basically the same forecast on tap for tomorrow and Sunday. Daytime highs each day in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist John Nodar with the News 5 First Alert Storm Team.
Roll Tide. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
We've arrived at the Daily Reagan here on News Radio 710 WNTM 99.5 FM The Jag. The Daily Reagan, a presentation of SAD Healthcare, that's spelled S-A-A-D, sadhealthcare.com.
There are many political observers who are convinced that no conservative can be elected president of the United States. Now, obviously, you don't think so. Do you mind telling us why you think a conservative can be elected president?
Well, we get into those definitions again of what is a conservative and what is a liberal. And some people, when you say the word conservative, automatically think you're talking about a monster who eats his young. And on the other...
Let's talk about your kind of conservative.
Well, all right. I think the reverse is true. If we get away from the labels and we get away from the definitions, I think the American people proved in 1972, in an election in which the issues were probably more clearly defined than they have ever been in history. I cannot recall an election where there was so little emphasis on individual personalities and so much emphasis on philosophies, two divergent philosophies. And the American people made it plain that they want limited government, less government, that they want an extension of their freedoms, they want more local control, and they want less social tinkering than we have had over the last few decades. And from that standpoint, I don't believe the American people have changed in that.
The Daily Reagan, a presentation of SAD Healthcare. S-A-A-D is how you spell it, sadhealthcare.com. Uncle Henry Show proceeding forward. We have news headlines coming up from Fox and from WKRG in less than 10 minutes. Reagan Girl is with us. Reagan Girl, good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Henry. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, roll!
Well, first of all, after meeting you last weekend, I must say that you are a very handsome gentleman. And it was an honor to meet you and for you to come and see us perform last weekend.
Well, that is very kind of you to say that. Thank you, Reagan Girl.
Well, the reason why I called is this Paris Treaty.
Yes.
If everyone recalls in history, back before the Titanic sailed, everyone's idea or their thoughts were even God himself cannot sink this ship. And we saw in our history what happened. Well, this is how the world is acting right now. The world is acting as if human beings have the capability of taking down Earth, destroying the earth. We cannot destroy the Lord's creation. Bottom line. And that is what the world has turned into. It is almost as if they are worshiping the earth. God is first, and we do not have the ability to destroy his creation. We have responsibility to take care of it, but man himself cannot destroy the Lord's creation. And that was just my thoughts for this morning, Uncle Henry. But you take care and have a good weekend.
All right. Thank you, Reagan Girl, for your phone call. I had trouble concentrating. I'm not exactly sure I heard what the point was, because once Reagan Girl mentioned the Titanic, she mentioned the Titanic, and that confused me, and I started thinking about Leonardo DiCaprio and the people on the Titanic, and then Celine Dion. I started hearing Celine Dion music
and spaces
in my mind. So this was very distracting. I apologize. I know you, as the host, you expect me to pay attention to what people are saying and have some type of rebuttal or some type of but all I could think of, she mentioned Titanic.
Wherever you
All right, let me get off that. I apologize, but unfortunately, I don't know what was said in that phone call. I do know the Paris Accord, many people are very angry. The Germans, in fact, there's some German newspaper that used the F word on the front page as a headline, F word you to President Trump in Germany. Now, the culture there's a lot I don't understand. I think even though we've got freedom of speech in our country, we're probably not going to put the F word on a headline. Not yet. Now, that may be coming up in the next few weeks. Well, we're not there yet. But in Germany, they're so mad in Germany, they're cussing the president in their headlines on their newspapers. And there's got to be more to this than just somebody must be losing out on some money. People don't get that mad unless somebody must not be getting the money they think they're going to get or something. I'm going to try and pay close attention to it over the weekend and figure it all out. If I can forget the Titanic. I apologize again for that. All right, we have news coming up. I'm sure you'll hear more upset over the Paris Climate Agreement, us pulling out of the what they call voluntary but isn't really voluntary agreement. That's coming up, and then also local news. In the next hour of the show, there is another hour of show. We'll have an edition of Dear Ariel. We also may have snake talk, as WKRG ran a story about some type of snake invasion in Crestview, Florida, that I'm a little befuddled at the way that's being handled. So we have all of that to get to, plus more on the Paris Climate Accord. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for watching on Facebook. News, traffic, weather, all of that is next.
Does something no other app or website can do. Thousands of live radio stations you can take anywhere. Want to listen to that station in Denver, but you're in Philly? No problem. In Austin, but you miss Seattle? No problem. Plus, iHeartRadio lets you create your own custom artist stations.
Hey, this is Nikki Sixx from Motley Crue on iHeartRadio.
Just type in the artist you love, and iHeartRadio creates a station just for you. Free radio and unlimited music all in one app. iHeartRadio.
The Sad family's tradition of caring started with John and Dorothy Sad more than 3 decades ago. The Sad Healthcare family has grown to more than 400 employees, but we're still the same local people you've known for years, offering in-home nursing services, hospice care, rehabilitation therapies, and medical supplies and equipment. Our goal has never changed, offering home healthcare services with integrity, professionalism, and above all, compassionate care. Stop by any of our Gulf Coast locations and you'll see Sad Healthcare's family tradition of caring in action.
Here with Ron of Mobile Bay Coins. Ron, if I'm going to sell a coin or jewelry, what's the best piece of advice you can give me?
Would be shop it around, get multiple offers, make sure you get the most for your item, for your buck. Same thing when you're buying, shop around what people are selling that item for, whether it's gold, silver, estate jewelry items. Make sure you're not paying too much for an item. The thing that sickens me the most is when an estate comes in and we find out that somebody paid sometimes 100 times too much what they could have got the same item for, or they were sold items with great packaging and great boxes, but the items contained therein were worth almost nothing. So shop it around, be smart about it, and come by Mobile Bay Coins. We can make recommendations based on the items you have, your avenues available to you.
So if I understand you correctly, the best piece of advice is shop it around.
Shop it around.
Shop it around. Mobile Bay Coins, 2204 Government Street in Midtown Mobile. Look for them on Facebook. You'll also find them online at mobilebaycoins.com.
Your home for traffic and weather on the nines every morning. News Radio 710 WNTM, Mobile. An iHeart radio station, 99.9 WMXC HD3 Mobile. 710 Time Saver Traffic from the Dean McCrary Volvo Traffic Center.
There's one less option to get up to eastbound I-10 through downtown Mobile this morning, but you're probably going to be safer because of it. The I-10 eastbound on-ramp at Water Street was permanently closed yesterday. There's a new free-flowing ramp without that big curve. It has been built back at Texas Street, so that's the preferred way. You're going to need to detour using Canal to Claiborne to get to Texas Street and the new on-ramp. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by the Foundation for a Better Life.
When Marlon Shirley was 5, he lost his foot. Today, as the world's fastest amputee, he runs the 100 meters in less time than it takes to listen to this. Overcoming. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life.
First Alert Weather from WKRG News 5 and the Southern Cancer Center Weather Center.
I'm meteorologist John Nodar with the News 5 First Alert Storm Team. A few foggy spots and a few showers around the area this morning, but most folks with an easy commute, dry streets, light winds, and good visibility. We'll see clouds and the possibility of showers again today and tomorrow and Sunday, with a 60% chance of rain each day and highs in the mid-80s.
Looks like some cable and phone companies are trying to sell home security. But when a burglar sees one of their signs in the front yard, what does it say? Oh, wow, this home has 599 channels. Or, oh, these guys have high-speed internet. But the ADT sign, it says, this family trusts the company whose name means security. So beat it. It's no wonder 5 times more people choose ADT to protect their homes.
Learn more at ADT.com and to see licensing and terms and conditions.
When you're hiring for a growing business, you don't need lots of candidates. You need the right candidates. You need Indeed.com. With an algorithm that positions your job post where quality candidates are and screener questions that help you zero in on the best talent. Indeed.com, the site proven through an independent study to deliver 5 times more hires than any other. New users claim your $50 credit for a sponsored job at Indeed.com/credit. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
The unemployment rate hits a new 16-year low. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, but that drop comes despite less than expected new hiring. Fox's Ginny Casola details the just out jobs report live.
Dave, May's employment report weaker than expected. There were 138,000 new jobs created last month, but economists were expecting approximately 185,000. There were more people employed in construction and mining, fewer working in retail and government. The unemployment rate did decline to 4.3%, which is a 16-year low, but the labor force participation rate, how many people are working or looking for work, declined to 62.7%. Dave?
Ginny, on Wall Street, stock futures are up modestly coming off yesterday's Dow and NASDAQ record highs. There's been quite the strong reaction to President Trump announcing the U.S. will pull out of the Paris Climate Change Accord.
Future generations will look back on this day as one of the worst things that's happened in the 21st century.
Democratic Senate Leader Chuck Schumer.
Climate justice now!
That's a protest in New York, but Vice President Pence says the deal was bad for America's economy.
American industry in the heartland and all across America depends on fossil fuels and coal-burning power plants.
And he tells Fox,
we will lead in the world, not follow the world.
Much of the rest of the world, though, disagrees. Fox's Simon Owen live in London.
Today, French President Emmanuel Macron inviting American climate change scientists to move to France, saying we will not give up this fight. German Chancellor Angela Merkel calling the president's decision, quote, utterly regrettable and rejecting the president's offer to renegotiate the agreement. 195 countries signed up to the Paris Accord, many expressing disappointment at President Trump's withdrawal, but China, Russia and India saying they remain committed to the agreement. Dave?
Simon, President Trump's taking the case of his blocked executive order on travel to the Supreme Court next. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Good morning, I'm Jessica Taloni with WKRG News 5, coverage you can count on. The frantic search for a missing girl in Pensacola is entering its second full day. 12-year-old Naomi Jones has not been seen since Wednesday afternoon. Her mother, Shantara Hurry, says her children went for a walk. All but Naomi returned home to Aspen Village Apartments. This morning, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, FBI, Escambia Search and Rescue, and Class Kids are all working the case. Search crews have set up a command center at Olive Baptist Church off Davis Highway. A 94-year-old man is in jail this morning for allegedly shooting a woman. The victim told officers that she and John Brown got into a fight. 94-year-old Brown then pulled out a revolver and shot her twice, once in the chest and in the arm. She's expected to be okay. Brown is charged with second-degree domestic violence. A bond hearing will be held today for a Bay Minette man who faces charges in connection with a dogfighting ring. 25-year-old Jermaine Jackson was indicted on animal cruelty charges and attending a dogfight. Officers discovered the activity in the woods east of downtown Bay Minette. I'm Jessica Taloni with WKRG News 5, coverage you can count on.
From the Mercedes-Benz of Mobile Studios, this is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. What a wonderful day. If you love humidity, what a golden age in which you live. Here we are. Coming up in about 15 minutes, a new edition of Dear Ariel. Right now, reaction to the president pulling out of the Paris Climate Agreement. I didn't realize people would be so upset. I guess, and no offense to other people in my life, but a lot of people, I guess we've been self-centered. When I say we, I mean the people that I spend time around. But I can't remember hanging around a lot of people that talk about the climate a lot, other than I wish the air conditioning was working. But then after yesterday, President Trump saying that he's pulling out of this deal, this allegedly voluntary deal, people just got, not just people on TV getting mad, but world leaders getting mad. I saw on Facebook, people were getting mad saying, this is it. This is the final straw. So the president making people mad. He also, now I thought the people of Pittsburgh might be happy that he mentioned Pittsburgh, because he mentioned that he was elected to be the president. Well, here he is. Here's what he had to say.
I was elected to represent the citizens of Pittsburgh, not Paris.
Okay. I thought that was a pretty good line, but the people of Pittsburgh not happy. The mayor of Pittsburgh felt like he had to step out and renounce all of this. The mayor of Pittsburgh, let me see, what is his name? Peduto or something like that. He had to step out and denounce the president.
The two things that were really amazing about using Pittsburgh, number one is a complete lack of history of how we have already done what the Paris Agreement calls for, and we're able to rebuild our economy and rebuild our city by understanding the importance of being a part of where the future trends are going. The second part of it is he didn't come anywhere close to winning Pittsburgh.
Okay, so I guess, by the way, he won everything around Pittsburgh, just not the city of Pittsburgh. So Pittsburgh gets name dropped internationally, and they didn't like it. I'm sure that many communities in Lower Alabama would love to be name dropped by the president in an international speech. President of West Loxley, for example. More in a moment. The Uncle Henry Show continues after traffic and weather together.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
School zone traffic and school zone enforcement are about to go away in Mobile County, at least for the summer. A Mobile County final day of school is today. Baldwin County's actually been out for a week. No big accidents or breakdowns right now if you're traveling I-10 crossing the Bayway this morning. And the Mobile Bay Ferry now back on the two-ferry schedule. RVs and trailers are accepted every other trip. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
First alert weather from WKRG News 5 and the Chemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
Clouds, rain, and humidity linger. I'm meteorologist John Nodar with the News 5 First Alert Storm Team. Yes, the wet weather pattern continues today, tomorrow, and Sunday as well, with 60% rain chances each day, highs in the mid-80s and lows near 70. There is light at the end of the tunnel. By the middle of next week, some drier and slightly cooler air moves in.
This report is brought to you by the Foundation for a Better Life.
When Marlon Shirley was 5, he lost his foot. Today, as the world's fastest amputee, he runs the 100 meters in less time than it takes to listen to this. Overcoming. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life.
Never miss a riff. TK 101, the rock station. Your home for traffic and weather on the 9s every morning. This is News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. Coming up in about 10 minutes, Dear Ariel. Plus, I'll tell you where you can meet her. Maybe you want to meet her in person and talk about your life too, Ariel. I'll tell you where you can do that coming up in about 10 minutes. One more thing on the Paris Climate Agreement. I started thinking about it more than I wanted to yesterday, looking at all the reaction. And I kept hearing the word voluntary, that it was a voluntary agreement, that it was non-binding. It was voluntary, non-binding. Now, how voluntary and non-binding did it seem when the president said he was going to pull out unless it was renegotiated? How voluntary did that seem? It didn't seem very voluntary. People were very mad. All these other world leaders, a lot of people in this country that were just, they feel like the polar bears have been disrespected and things like that. How voluntary is that? It reminds me of if you're invited to like a relative's birthday party, like your aunt is turning 85, and it's voluntary to attend, but if you don't show up, well, I don't know what it's like in your family, but if you don't show up, then you're never going to hear the end of it. So I don't know how voluntary this really is. Voluntary, non-binding. Now, on a very serious note, if this is all really worthwhile, and I know that you're probably one of those people that's so mad that we pulled out. You're listening and you're mad that the president pulled out, and you feel embarrassed that the French think they're superior to us because we pulled out of this, and you're worried about the polar bears and the web of life is being threatened on the planet, and that the sea levels will rise and harm someone's beach house. If it's really that serious, and you really do buy in, then why aren't we making it an actual real treaty? There are things called treaties. There are actual constitutional things you can do, enter into agreements with other countries where it's a treaty and the Senate is involved. And our representatives representing us in the United States Senate weigh in on it. I think it's something like 2/3 of the Senate ratifies or approves things like this. Why wouldn't we do that? If it's that important and people are crying and gnashing their teeth and they're angry and the polar bears are upset, why, if it's that important, why not make it a binding agreement? Is it because maybe it's not as important as we're being told? Maybe because it's more symbolic than it is real world practical? Please, I don't understand. Why, if it's that important, why don't we actually really go all in on a constitutional level and make a binding treaty. Since the world is acting like we broke a treaty when it's not really anything of the sort. Coming up in a moment, Ariel versus Dear Abby. A new edition of Dear Ariel is next.
MSNBC's Morning Joe speaks truth to power.
Here's a message to the White House. You keep lying, we're going to keep reporting.
With access to the people who matter, from the Senate floor to the Oval Office. Morning Joe, weekdays 6 to 9 Eastern on MSNBC.
Bluebell ice cream is a full half-gallon of joy. It's a bridge across a kitchen table, spanning generations. A toddler getting her first taste of magic. Bluebell is a best friend, a sad movie, and a good cry. It's dessert with new neighbors, soon to be old friends. A soldier after a 4th of July parade, savoring the taste of home. Some say Bluebell is the best ice cream in the country. Say I do to our rich and handsome groom's cake. Chocolate ice cream tailored to your taste with cake pieces, chocolate-coated strawberry hearts, strawberry sauce, and chocolate icing. Eat now or forever hold your peace.
Finding great people to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's time to try ZipRecruiter, where 80% of jobs get a qualified candidate in just one day. How? Using powerful technology, ZipRecruiter matches your job to the right candidates fast. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, only ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
And right now you can try ZipRecruiter free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/talkradio for your free trial. ZipRecruiter.com/talkradio.
I'm Uncle Henry, a customer of Heads Heating and Air Conditioning. All right, we're on Facebook. Hey, Facebook. Well, back on the radio in just a moment with Ariel and a new edition of Dear Ariel. Let me get the Dear Ariel ready. Let me preview this briefly. Okay, this will be, we'll see. This is not I don't know how big a problem this is, but we'll put it to Ariel with Dear Ariel coming up. There's a story in the Press Register today about a theme park in Kentucky that's devoted to stuff in the Bible, like they've got a Noah's Ark. Which doesn't surprise me. Why not? Why not? That sounds like something that you would enjoy taking your children to, because it's like a zoo, only it's also biblical. But it also says that they want to expand it. Listen to this. All right, they opened it last summer, this ark, and they're going to attract more than 1 million visitors in the first year. Now they want to build a Tower of Babel, and they also want a thrill ride. A biblical thrill ride. And the biblical thrill ride would be based on the 10 plagues of Egypt. Frogs, fiery hail, locusts. Now the ark, I can see how that would be interesting. Tower of Babel, I guess I can see how that would be interesting. But a thrill ride with the plagues. Plague and vacation don't go together. For me, anyway. What are you going to do in your vacation? I'm going to go experience the plagues. This needs to be thought through a little bit more. The plague ride. Now also, let's see, they also want to have a village that recreates what it would be like to live in the time of Jesus. Now that sounds great. That's something I would enjoy seeing. The older I get, of course. All right, stand by. We're about to go back to radio.
We've got basically the same forecast on tap for tomorrow and Sunday. Daytime highs each day in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist John Nodar with the News 5 First Alert Storm Team.
Traffic updates every 10 minutes on the 9s every morning. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. Today was the day that the press register was delivered, thrown at our building, and so we have a new Dear Abby column. That means it's time for a new edition of Dear Ariel. This is where we take a letter that was sent to Dear Abby and put it to Ariel and compare the answers of Ariel and the extreme elderly Dear Abby. Ariel, are you ready for your letter?
Yeah, let's do this.
The letter reads, Dear Ariel, I have a single daughter in her early 30s.
Okay.
She's active in her church.
Sounds like my life.
Goes out with friends and spends time with family. Mm-hmm. She's very attractive.
Okay.
And has a wonderful personality.
Okay.
Her siblings, cousins, and friends are all married, and most of them have children. Mm-hmm. She wants her own family and has tried the usual dating websites, but never gets any results. I try to keep her spirits up. Her happiness is most important to me, not her marital status. But how can I help her? I don't want to keep telling her the right one will come along when she wants a boyfriend now. And that letter is from single girl's mom in Georgia.
You can help her by minding your own business. There is nothing that you can do about this. Like, it's going to happen when it's going to happen. And trust me, I am totally here with her in those dating websites because I was on one for all of 5 minutes, and it was supposed to be a Christian dating site, and Jesus would not have been pleased had he seen that website. That's all I'm saying. And I didn't even get past the profile pictures, but he would not have been pleased. Just, girl, there's really nothing you can do. In fact, if you want to, entertain your daughter. Take her on a vacation. Tell her how to live her life by herself without waiting on, the next boyfriend to come along. He'll come. You just got to chill. Half of them ain't worth it no way.
Okay, so mind your own business.
Yes.
And chill.
Yes, mind your own business and chill, baby.
Okay, let's compare your answer to what Abby had to say.
Okay.
Abby says your daughter should start by asking her siblings, cousins, and friends why they think she's still single.
Girl, bye.
When she wants so much to be married. Could the solution be something as simple as tweaking her profile?
Or deleting it altogether?
It may be that she needs to expand her interests and activities so she'll be out in the community more than she is. If her friends and coworkers aren't already aware, she should ask if they know someone nice who's unattached. Who knows? One of them might have a cousin.
Oh, my God.
Professional organizations having to do with her field of employment can also be a fertile ground for prospecting. People who are visible and passionate about the activities they're involved in attract positive attention, which increases the likelihood of meeting someone eligible or meeting someone who knows someone. When all is said and done, finding Mr. Right is usually a matter of luck and timing.
This sounds way too desperate for my taste.
Yeah, that was...
and way too much work.
Okay. All right, Ariel, I like your answer better.
Yeah, I like mine too because it makes the girl sound less desperate. Sheesh.
All right, Ariel, thank you very much. Bo, before you go, you're going to be at Metro PCS today. Tell people where and when.
Yes, the Metro PCS on Pleasant Valley. I'll be there from noon to 2. They just have a really good deal going on right now for 2 cell phones, so come and meet me at Metro PCS.
Very good. Ariel, thank you very much. Ariel, better than Dear Abby. Let's talk to JP. Hello, JP.
Hey, great morning. God's blessing to all. Great music there for a few seconds from the Lawrence Welk Band. I have a suggestion to add to Ariel's suggestions about this lady who's looking for our band.
Yes.
First of all, ask the Lord whatever you ask. Ask and you shall receive. Seek and you shall find.
And knock.
Knock a lot. And, you know, not everybody's cut out to be married. You take some of these good ladies, like at the, there's a Carmelite monastery in Mobile. Those ladies pray a lot, and most of them don't even go outside except when they got to go out to the doctor or something like that.
So maybe this woman should become a nun.
That's right. She might go see the Little Sisters of the Poor. They take care of a lot of old people who are in need, and that's a great vocation, as they call it. Anyway, I think that she might go to church this Sunday, along with many others, and pray to the Lord for whatever divine assistance.
Uncle Henry Show. This music.
And join a band. You'll meet a lot of good people in a band, I believe. I'm pretty sure of that.
Join a band, okay? Become a nun or join a band.
Do you like the Colonel Bogey Polka?
This is very beneficial.
That's what we're playing, Colonel Bogey Polka, and it is great. I hope that was a good one for you and for all, Uncle.
I cannot imagine someone not enjoying that.
I can't either, unless they're deaf. That's the only reason I could think of. Uncle, may the good Lord bless and keep you and all, and may we all remember Psalm 109. It says something, I believe, about the mercy, the wonderful, unlimited mercy of God. God bless you all. Love you guys.
Very good. Love you too. Thank you, JP, for your phone call, and thank you for adding kind of an addition to the Dear Ariel segment.
Okay, so it's Tuesday. Washington Post columnist Dana Milbank claimed that President Trump's unpopularity is causing a Republican uprising. His piece was titled, "Trump's Toxicity Has Republicans Running Away from Their Constituents." What was his evidence? Well, Republicans in several states have faced rowdy town halls. We're told that in Utah, Jason Chaffetz was confronted by angry constituents who want to keep Obamacare. Now, here's what we're supposed to believe. Republican voters who for 5 years have demanded that Congress get rid of Obamacare now all of a sudden love it. And they're attacking their own congressmen at town halls to vent their anger at Trump for trying to take it away. Trump, by the way, who they voted for and are happy with. Now, meanwhile, another news story appeared in the Washington Post in the same day with this headline: Democrats bracing for town hall protests directed at them ask Bernie Sanders for help. Well, now that says it all. The Democrats know who these protesters really are. They are not and never have been Republican voters upset over Obamacare being repealed. They're not mad at Trump. They're out-of-control, loony leftists being bought and paid to show up. Now, if Mr. Milbank read his own paper, he might learn that Obama and Soros are behind the protests, part of a strategery to intimidate elected representatives of both parties into keeping Obamacare because they want big government. And then again, you can't blame Milbank for not reading the Washington Post. Who does? Too much fake news in that paper. Owning land in this great country of ours, that's one of our most precious rights. And when it comes to taking care of the land you own, you want the best tools. And that's where my friends at Mahindra come in. Mahindra makes the toughest tractors on earth with real steel for more built-in weight. That translates to better traction and stability. And don't forget Mahindra's XTV utility vehicles. Whether you're taking a family fishing or hauling supplies or just driving down to check the mail, you will enjoy the added comfort of 25% more legroom and seating. Right now, if you buy a tractor and a utility vehicle together, you'll get a special $500 rebate. Learn more at MahindraUSA.com. And get your work done, America.
Take advantage of rock-bottom prices and test drive a Mahindra today at J&K Tractor in Satsuma or call 251-679-8677. That's 251-679-8677.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
We picked up an accident spot on Martin Luther King and St. Stephen's. Not much happening on the interstate system. I-10 has been moving nicely throughout the area so far this morning. And after a very long period of study and planning, the eastbound I-10 entrance ramp at Water Street was finally closed to traffic yesterday. This is a permanent closure. The recommended new route is to take the Texas Street on-ramp. There's a new free flow ramp there that doesn't have that big curve and is much safer. I'm Ray Romero.
First Alert Weather from WKRG News 5 and the Chemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
I'm meteorologist John Nodar with the News 5 First Alert Storm Team. A few foggy spots and a few showers around the area this morning, but most folks with an easy commute, dry streets, light winds, and good visibility. We'll see clouds and the possibility of showers again today and tomorrow and Sunday, with a 60% chance of rain each day and highs in the mid-80s.
Good morning, I'm Jessica Taloni with WKRG News 5, coverage you can count on. The frantic search for a missing girl in Pensacola is entering its second full day. 12-year-old Naomi Jones has not been seen since Wednesday afternoon. Her mother, Shantara Hurry, says her children went for a walk. All but Naomi returned home to Aspen Village Apartments. This morning, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, FBI, Escambia Search and Rescue, and Class Kids are all working the case. Search crews have set up a command center at Olive Baptist Church off Davis Highway. A 94-year-old man is in jail this morning for allegedly shooting a woman. The victim told officers that she and John Brown got into a fight. 94-year-old Brown then pulled out a revolver and shot her twice, once in the chest and in the arm. She's expected to be okay. Brown is charged with second-degree domestic violence. A bond hearing will be held today for a Bay Minette man who faces charges in connection with a dogfighting ring. 25-year-old Jermaine Jackson was indicted on animal cruelty charges and attending a dogfight. Officers discovered the activity in the woods east of downtown Bay Minette. I'm Jessica Taloni with WKRG News 5, coverage you can count on.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. A disappointing May jobs report out this morning. Analysts were looking for roughly 180,000 jobs created, but Fox Business's Adam Shapiro reports this is what we got.
138,000 jobs added in May, 4.3%. The unemployment rate down slightly from 4.4%.
That unemployment rate the lowest in 16 years. The president's travel ban heading for the high court.
A Justice Department filing is asking the U.S. Supreme Court to overturn lower court rulings that have prevented the Trump administration from implementing a ban on travelers from 6 Muslim-majority countries in the Middle East and North Africa. President Trump argues the policy is a national security necessity until additional vetting of visa applicants and refugees can be done.
Fox Radio's Jared Halpern. Lower courts have said this policy is intended to target Muslims. Fox News, we report, you decide.
When you're hiring for a growing business, you don't need lots of candidates. You need the right candidates. You need Indeed.com. With an algorithm that positions your job post where quality candidates are and screener questions that help you zero in on the best talent. Indeed.com, the site proven through an independent study to deliver 5 times more hires than any other. New users claim your $50 credit for a sponsored job at Indeed.com/credit. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
Looks like some cable and phone companies are trying to sell home security. But when a burglar sees one of their signs in the front yard, what does it say? Oh, wow, this home has 599 channels. Or, oh, these guys have high-speed internet. But the ADT sign, it says, this family trusts the company whose name means security. So beat it. It's no wonder 5 times more people choose ADT to protect their homes.
Learn more at ADT.com and to see licensing and terms and conditions.
This is Uncle Henry. I want to tell you about Dr. Thomas Bender and Advanced Dermatology. Good morning, Facebook. The radio show will continue here in just a moment. In just a moment, we'll be back on the radio. It's over the weekend. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I've got a lot to take care of this weekend because I was out Monday and things still have to get done. So I guess I'll take the time that I was off Monday and do that stuff tomorrow. But I'm looking forward to a wonderful weekend. I'm hoping that it'll be a different atmosphere at the flea market, maybe a lot muddier at the flea market. All right, here we go. Stand by. We're about to go back on radio. Bert is waiting to talk to us about the Paris climate deal.
iHeartRadio.com/tennis channel. That's iHeartRadio.com/tennis channel. No purchase necessary. And tune in to Tennis Channel for exclusive cable coverage of this year's French Open, happening now. Check your local listings.
News? Check. Traffic and weather? Check. Opinions? Check. This is the Uncle Henry Show, only on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. We talked a lot this morning about the Paris climate deal and the president pulling out of this allegedly voluntary deal. People angry, upset, embarrassed, worried about the web of life. The life on the planet is threatened. Let's talk to Bert. Hello, Bert.
Good morning, Uncle Henry.
Yes.
I've been reading the literature of the environmental doomsayers since the 70s.
Yes.
I think it was the Arab oil embargo of 73, 74 that really woke everybody up to the energy situation. We were supposed to be running out of oil by right about now, and that didn't come true. So, and starting in about the late 70s, some of my professors started talking about the global warming thing, and even then, they hadn't all gotten completely on the same page. Some people were saying it was going to be global cooling. Some people were saying it was going to be global warming.
Yes.
All of them made predictions that right about this time, everything was just going to be going to heck in a handbasket.
That's right.
We're using up all of Earth's resources. We're going to destroy the oceans, destroy the air.
Yes.
And when none of that comes true, then they change the wording. So you don't hear man-made global warming now so much as you hear the term human-induced climate change.
Right.
Now that covers all the bets. That hedges the bets. If it's global cooling instead of global warming, well, that can still be blamed on humans.
Now, you mentioned these predictions. Shouldn't the Amazon rainforest be gone by now? Wasn't that disappearing like several square miles a day?
By now, it's supposed to be completely gone.
Right.
And so anyway, if you ask the environmentalists and they're really honest with you, they'll tell you the bottom line of the whole problem, the cause of all of Earth's environmental problems, all of Earth's other problems, is human overpopulation. There's just 7 billion people on the planet, and there needs to be about 1 billion. So the solution is just to kill 6 out of every 7 people on this planet. Now, that program obviously can't be voluntary. Nobody. Now,
isn't that like a James Bond villain, something a James Bond villain would want to do?
Like in GoldenEye.
Okay.
That would be that's a scenario that really could happen. That's for another call. I'll tell you exactly how that could happen.
Okay.
But anyway, in order for all the governments on Earth to get with the population reduction program, there's one thing that's got to happen first. They got to take away everybody's guns. Nobody's going to volunteer to be terminated. So you got to be defenseless when the government comes knocking on your door and saying, "We're from the government. We're here to kill you."
All right. Thank you for that. Thank you for connecting the dots from the Paris Climate Accord to people's guns being taken away for mass population destruction. Thank you, Bert, for that. Have a wonderful weekend, Bert. More Uncle Henry Show right after traffic and weather together.
Look for an accident on Martin Luther King and St. Stephen's. Not much happening on I-10. The drive across the Bayway and I-65 from Pritchard and Chickasaw to the I-10 have both been in very good shape this morning with no big problems on the board. The Mobile Bay ferry system is now back on the 2-ferry schedule today. They will be accepting RVs and trailers every other trip. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by Lazy Boy.
It's Bess from Lazy Boy, and I had a friend who came in and said, I hate my living room. She said, it isn't loving and hugging on me. I said, why not? She said, it's my fault. It's not Lazy Boy. But we fixed that, and now it's a wow. Lazy Boy.
First Alert Weather from WKRG News 5 and the Southern Cancer Center Weather Center.
Clouds, rain, and humidity linger. I'm meteorologist John Nodar with the News 5 First Alert Storm Team. Yes, the wet weather pattern continues today, tomorrow, and Sunday as well, with 60% rain chances each day, highs in the mid-80s and lows near 70. There is light at the end of the tunnel. By the middle of next week, some drier and slightly cooler air moves in.
This report is brought to you by Lowe's. Stop by Lowe's for great deals this spring, like select 12-pack annuals, 2 for $16, and get Miracle-Gro garden soil, now 2 for $12. All projects have a starting point. Start with Lowe's. Offers valid May 31st through June 5th, while supplies last. U.S. only. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
You're home for Rush every weekday at 11. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. In the last segment of the show, we had caller Bert connecting the dots. He also mentioned previous predictions about our world and our climate and weather that have been incorrect. And just one more time, very briefly, I want to take you back to 2008, 9 years ago. Right before President Obama was elected, Al Gore told us that he told us back in 2008 that the polar ice caps were going to be gone by now. This was a prediction that Al Gore made. Let me see if I can find this. He made it on national television at the Democrat National Convention, telling you that if you didn't vote for President Obama, then the polar ice caps were going to be gone.
Many scientists predict shockingly that the entire North Polar ice cap may be completely gone during summer months during the first term of the next president.
All right, so I don't know if President Obama sent ice up there and saved it or what happened. Let me go to the email inbox. I do have an email on the topic of the Paris Climate Accords. Subject line on the email is Paris Accords. Email reads, Unc, I'm as happy as a pig in mud that President Trump got us out of the idiotic climate change nonsense of the Paris Accords. What I find amazing is that it has become another liberal conservative thing. Most of the strident believers are left, most like me, who either deny or doubt the validity 100% are conservative, it seems. I am a scientist who has done a lot of reading on the subject, and I don't doubt there is some impact on the planet by us humans burning fossil fuels. But we are producing CO2 and water vapor. Guess what plants love? Yep, CO2 and water. Volcanoes, such as Krakatoa, put many times more dust and pollutants in the air than man could. Did you realize that temps were about 2 degrees colder in the Northern Hemisphere that year in 1883, and it took about 5 years for the weather to straighten out? Covered the earth, most of it, with a cloud of dust and gases. I like the Donald and that email from Chuck G, who he is claiming to be a scientist. So Chuck, thank you, Chuck, for your commentary on this. And I say claiming to be because we don't know Chuck G. Haven't met him and can't verify his credentials. but probably as trustworthy as being told that the polar ice caps would be gone by 2009 or 2010.
Many scientists predict shockingly that the entire North Polar ice cap may be completely gone during summer months during the first term of the next president.
Okay, but they're still there, thank goodness, for the polar bears. All right, there's more. We have one final segment of show. One final segment of show for the week is next here on News Radio 710 WNTM and 99.5 FM, The Jag.
The Glenn Beck program introduces a new eve. The eve of global war. Celebrate with your family and friends. Today at 5. News Radio 710. WNTM.
Been a conservative all my life. I want a senator with the guts to fight liberals and corrupt politicians. A conservative senator like Sessions and a tough outsider like Trump. Well, that's Big Luther Strange. As Attorney General, Big Luther fought Obama to protect our Second Amendment. He led a public corruption prosecution team that convicted a corrupt House Speaker, convicted dozens of corrupt public officials. Big Luther Strange followed Jeff Sessions as our senator, one tough conservative replacing another. Big Luther is working with President Trump to drain the swamp, deporting violent criminal aliens, building a border wall by cutting funds to sanctuary cities, and finally repealing Obamacare. Montgomery insiders don't like Big Luther's conservative record. Heck, politicians and liberals don't like Trump, but we do. Let's stand with a conservative who stands tall for us. That's Big Luther Strange, an Alabama conservative.
I'm Luther Strange, candidate for U.S. Senate. I approve this message.
Paid for and authorized by Strange for Senate.
Hey, for security, alarm systems, cameras, monitoring, and more, call TSI Alarms and Audio. Call 251-662-0500 or online at thetsigroup.com. TSI Alarms and Audio.
Mueller isn't just a brand name for quality metal products. It's a way of life for our customers. We're known for manufacturing our own steel buildings and metal roofing, but more importantly, we're known for exceeding our customers' expectations, and we don't take that for granted. Thanks to lifetime relationships built on a strong foundation of trust, Mueller is celebrating 85 years in business producing quality steel products and 85 years of making customers' dreams come true. We can give you a more beautiful home, greater comfort and peace of mind, and a place for your business to prosper, your hobbies to grow, and your lifestyle to flourish. To find out more about Mueller Steel Buildings and Metal Roofing, call us today at 877-2-MUELLER or design your own custom building with our 3D design tool at MuellerInc.com. That's MuellerInc.com.
This is Uncle Henry with news and comment. Does washing your hands with hot water get you cleaner? I'll tell you after this for SAD Healthcare. SAD Healthcare reminding you that your healthcare is your choice. When it comes to home health, ask your doctor for SAD, locally owned, family operated. It's spelled S-A-A-D, sadhealthcare.com. Scientists at Rutgers University experimented and found that it doesn't make any difference at all if you use hot water or cold water to wash your hands. As long as you're using soap and you wash your hands for about 20 seconds in the soapy water, temperature of the water has nothing to do with how clean your hands get. This will be big news in my family. I can remember when I was a kid, we weren't considered clean unless we had been scalded in some form or fashion. You'll find more of me online at newsradio710.com.
The music.
Music. Take the vocals of Paul Rogers. Add the guitar of Jimi Hendrix. Stir in the drums of Joey Kramer. serving up steaming hot classic rock. 96.1 The Rocket.
Today is the last day of school in Mobile County, and the kids have to be feeling like it's about time. Their counterparts in Baldwin have been out for a week already, so that means after today, school zone enforcement will be discontinued for the next couple of months. Also, the I-10 eastbound on-ramp at Water Street, as you may know by now, was shut down permanently yesterday for safety reasons. There is a new free flow ramp that's been opened at Texas Street. With Time Saver traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by R.J. Young. Since 1955, your success is the core of R.J. Young's business philosophy. As an office equipment leader, their in-house leasing and We Make It Right guaranteed aligns their resources to your best interests. Make R.J. Young your partner to power productivity. Learn more at rjyoung.com.
First Alert Weather from WKRG News 5 and the Chemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
Lots of moisture in the air again today. A few foggy spots for the morning commute, but most folks getting from point A to point B without too much trouble. The clouds and rain continue today, a 60% chance that a shower or thunderstorm will find you. And we've got basically the same forecast on tap for tomorrow and Sunday. Daytime highs each day in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist John Nodar with the News 5 First Alert Storm Team.
We love Nick Saban. Just wanted to get that out of the way. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. Norman is with us. Norman, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
How are you, Norman?
I'm doing good. There's a couple of subjects y'all are talking about that I want to touch on, but first, I'd like to apologize about our movie review last night. You know what we failed to do? Nobody even mentioned Linda Carter.
Well,
she was not in the movie. You know, a lot of times, you know, they'll have the other people that played the character before, you know, have cameos or do stuff.
Right.
And, you know, I'm just saying, we missed Linda Carter.
That would have been, I'm glad you mentioned that, because that would have been the true cherry on top of the cupcake if you'd had Linda Carter there in some form or fashion. You're right.
And one other thing before I move on, you know, the next time we do this, we need to have Ariel come with us, too, to review a movie with us.
I think that would be fantastic. If she can make it, that would be fantastic.
You know, I think she'd fit right in with that, with our unique point of view round table or what have you.
I agree with that completely.
The other thing, you know, they talk. Caller Burt was talking about, you know, this deforestation stuff. You know, the thing is, you know, they were saying everything was going to be clear cut and gone, and we're going to be, you know, in the Sahara Desert or whatever.
Right.
You know, the thing is, you know, just like everywhere else here, you know, you got Bureau of Land Management and you got, you know, Department of Forestries that, you know, when they cut down trees, Alabama Power and all of them for 100 years have been replanting trees. You know, so I don't know about down there, but I know, you know, up here, as bad and evil as we are, you know, at least we, you know, replant and replenish. The other thing, this whole, you know, all these liberal Europeans that are standing up and saying, oh, it's so bad, too bad, y'all are doing this, oh, you're just evil. You know what? Whenever they start ponying up the money, you know, the United States, you and me, is paying for everything. And that fella that did the electric cars that says he's not going to be on the council or whatever, or not going to participate, you know, why don't he give back some of those billions of dollars that your tax dollars and the government gave him? What's his name, Musk?
Yes.
You know, you put up or shut up. You know, they all claim to be what's the term when you seem to be doing stuff for others?
A philanthropist?
No, it's something like that, but it's not a philanthropist. You know, that's when you're giving away your own money. You know, he's giving away other people's money, making money off of your and my tax dollars, and then you know, it just makes me sick. You know, just like what we're talking about, they call themselves liberals, but they're only liberal with their own ideas. They're not open to any other point of view, like a bunch of children. Anyhow, we all pray for this country. I'm, for one, am proud of Donald Trump for doing that.
Hey, before you go, I've got one thing to ask you about on a completely different topic. There was a story on WKRG TV last night about copperhead snakes invading Crestview, Florida, with them saying that they don't normally live there, but for some reason the copperheads are invading Crestview. And WKRG they put a list of instructions on TV about what to do if you found a copperhead snake. And number 3 on the list is to call law enforcement and await further instruction.
That's what's wrong with this country.
Now, when I was growing up, we would deal with this.
You either had an axe or a hoe or a pistol.
Right.
That's the only way, because you're not, that's the term snake in the grass. You're not going to change a snake's nature.
Right.
They're going to bite. They say, oh, leave them alone, they'll leave you alone. No. I've had moccasins, which is about the same, well, that's the same as a cottonmouth, but all of these, they're called vipers for a reason. They're poison. Their nature is to bite and to attack. That's what they do. And, if you don't understand that, again, that's part of this dumbed down society. Go ahead and go pick one up. Go pat him on the head.
Well, they say don't mess with it, but they want you to call the police and wait for the police to give you further instructions.
That's the most stupid thing. Now, I could understand maybe calling animal control. That's part of animal control is to get rid of that kind of stuff. But again, good old 38 right down on the head, or if you can, stop them, you got to be careful. But a good old-fashioned hoe, I know a lot of people now don't do any gardening or don't.
Well, look, a shovel. Nothing's wrong with using a shovel.
Nothing's wrong with using a shovel, but again, most of the population now don't know how to use a dadgum shovel or anything like that. They don't have these, common or formerly common gardening tools.
Right. All right. Well, Norman, I'm glad. I wanted to confirm with you that this was kind of an unusual request. All right. Thank you, Norman.
Country, roll tide.
Roll tide, roll. Thank you. Yes. The instructions on these are poisonous snakes are invading Crestview, Florida. On the WKRG story, it says, number 1, you should snap a photo on your smartphone with the geolocator on of the snake. Then you should email it to they have an email address for some educator in Florida. And then number 3, call law enforcement. Do not mess with the snake and await further instruction. Now, I might let people know about it after I've gotten rid of the snake. But my number 1 priority is getting rid of the snake. We're out of time on the program. Let me say go Jags. The Jags are in the NCAA Regionals baseball tonight, 6 o'clock against Mississippi State. You can listen to the game on 99.5 The Jag. Go Jags. And have a great weekend.